What's going on guys, CasualSavage here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how I edit my videos. Now of course I do edit my videos in Sony Vegas as I always show you, and now the video I'm going to be editing is known as the muffle audio effect in Sony Vegas. Now, this is how I usually have it, and as you can see, it says capture, it says system audio, and voice. Now, just imagine voice isn't there because it usually isn't there. After recording raw footage, either it's just capture 2, or it's capture 2 and system audio. Now, capture 2 records my voice and the screen at the same time, and of course, system audio, it was recorded with Audacity so I could record what sound was coming out. So Sony Vegas is opened here, and I just drag on Capture 2 to start with, and of course the first thing, I right click Properties, Disable Resample, and uncheck Maintain Aspect Ratio. This gets rid of any ghosting, and then when I come to change my project to my YouTube videos template, it will match up with this and it won't have any black bars. Now from here, I would usually double click File, Render As, then I would take the render of the audio to Audacity, and then from Audacity, I would do all the effects I've previously shown you. If you haven't seen that out yet, you can check it in the description. And then I export it and I drag on something called voice, which I showed you. I drag it in underneath, and as you'll see, it's automatically synced up because it's the same length. I right click and delete this track, and then they're not grouped together just yet, so I select Ctrl A and select G, and they're grouped together. Now, of course, I have system audio to drag in. So this is the next thing I'm going to drag in, and I believe it's this right here. Now, when I do record system audio, I record it with Audacity. Now, when I start the recording of that, of course I start the screen capture first. Then I go to Audacity and I slam the record button quite loud. And this is it right here, so it tells me when it's going to start. So as you can see, that click, that tells me when the system audio recording is starting, and it allows me to sync up much easier. Now, of course, it doesn't start as soon as I hit it. It takes a couple seconds, or like a millisecond on Audacity. I'm going to drag on my system audio and start it right there. Just like that. Now I'm going to select Ctrl A, select G, and they're all grouped together. And then I just cut this short like that. And now we're finally ready to start to get on with the actual editing. So here, I've actually recorded two different intros. There's this one right here, and then there is this here. So if we just play through them, what I say is different. There's nothing about the way I say it, it's just what I say. So let's just play through it. What's going on guys, CasualSavage here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to muffle audio in Sony Vegas. What's going on guys, CasualSavage here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to muffle audio in Sony Vegas Pro 11, 12 or 13. And that is it. Now this happens a lot, and sometimes it can be up to 5 different ways of announcing the intro. I'm literally that picky. Now for me, I'm going to go with the second one on that, so I'm going to delete this and I'm going to drag this to the start. And now you'll notice when I start my videos on tutorials, I have that zoom out effect on the intro, the CasualSavage. So I'm going to come to the event panel crop, and I actually have a preset set for this, so it's called CS Outro. I come to the end of it and right click, restore, and now this gives us the effect of, just go through this, it gives us the effect that it is zooming out like that, as you can see, just like that. Now the next thing, I fade in the video by 2 seconds, then I fade in the audio by about 1 second. And now if we play this through. What's going on guys, CasualSavage here, and it's just a much more softer way to announce the video or introduce the video, and it's not all up in your face, which I have learned because before I never used to do this fading thing and people used to get scared and I literally shouted down their ear. So the next thing, I drag on my intro. Now, good thing I have 2 monitors for this, so I can just come over to my second monitor, drag it straight on like so, and you'll notice I always have a fade into my intro, and this is it right here. So it usually lasts 1 second, like that. It usually snaps like that. And now I always turn the volume down to -5. I've always done it. I don't know why I haven't just rendered it out, but I always change it to -5. And now from here, I just drag this back, and I'll begin to edit the video. Now on this part, after I've done the first part, I literally go through the video and just split the clips. So whatever I split, I just split it and then drag them together. I don't do any of my effects where I zoom in or zoom out of things just yet. I do that after I've done all the splitting. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and split everything. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, all the video is broken down to parts which are split. And now, I just got to drag this closer in, like so. And now I go through it to the parts where I want certain parts to be zoomed in. For example, if I'm showing you how to change to the default layout or something in media generators, I'd zoom in. So I'm just going to go through it. It'll take us to this. So now, as you can see, I click something there, and I want to be zoomed in on it so you guys can see it as well. So I'm just going to drag this in because there's a gap here. And now, let's just find it. I'm then going to select right there. So I'm going to come here and press S on my keyboard. I'm going to zoom into that specific part using the event pattern crop. And this is why I always have sync cursor checked, and I've said this so many times in different tutorials, have sync cursor checked. It's very useful, and I don't say it just because it's going to be useful for one tutorial. I use it in all of my videos. So I'm going to leave it there, like that. And now let's just see it, because this is what I want to be muffled. I'm then going to select this, which will, and now you can see I've clicked on it. So I'm going to select add a keyframe, and then I go on a bit longer. It will take us to this, and now I position it where you can end up seeing what I've just clicked on, like this. So I'm going to just position this now. There we go. I'm going to X out of it, and let's just play through what we have. This is what I want to be muffled. And this is how I usually do it. I'm then going to select this. I play through, make sure it's all sorted. Events. And you want to add on track. Now you can see it changes. Now, I don't add on the event pattern crop just yet. I just see what else I'm going to do. And select OK. And now from here, I can split the clip right there. And now I come back to the last event pattern crop. I copy the last keyframe by pressing Ctrl C. Then I come to the start on my next video and press Ctrl V. As you can see, it's pasted in the exact keyframe we had. So as you can see, it stays right there. Track EQ and select OK. This is what you should. Now on this part, I'm going to do the part where I make the box come out towards you, so you're able to see it easier. And so as you can see, I do move it around, so I'm not looking for that part just yet, but I stay still right here. Now, believe it or not, I use markers, and I press M on your keyboard. Markers are very useful, and then I find the part where I close out of it. And now, you change up to 50, lowest game to come here. Now, I don't need to listen to it again, because of course I've already went through it and listened to all of it. So, I'm good for that, and I've closed out of it. So now I use the arrow keys on my keyboard, find where I close out of it, which is right there. I press M on my keyboard, and this lets me know where I want it to be zoomed in and come out at me, or come at you. Now usually I make it take 1 second to come out, so you can see we're currently on 32. I'm going to head over to 33.5 like that, press M on my keyboard again, and now it ends here, so I'm going to go back to 106, so use my arrows again, right there, M on my keyboard, and again this lets me know where I want it to zoom in. So I insert a new video track right here. I press U on my keyboard, press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and this pastes it up here. Now the next thing, we need to mask it out. So I come to the event pattern crop, I come to mask, and then I zoom in. Now I usually do this on my other monitor, since I have it full screen, it's much more easier to see. So I come here, and I use the masking tool. I actually use the rectangle tool for Sony Vegas videos, because it's often I'm going to be zooming into a rectangle, and I just draw it out like so. I can X out of this, and now we use track motion to make it zoom in. So this just requires a bit of attention so you don't get it wrong. I'm going to select add a keyframe here. I'm then going to come to the marker we laid down, and this is where I want it to zoom in. And this gives us that effect which looks like it comes out towards you. So I'm just going to position this right now. And I like to position it in the middle. If I'm using, for example, the preview screen and something else, then I would position it towards the left. I'm going to have it there. And now I come across to this clip, which is when it's beginning to go back down, add a keyframe, and then I'll come to the last marker I lay down, right click, restore box, and it goes back to normal. Now the final thing, when I do this, I add a blur to the background, so I come to video effects, and the blur I add is known as Gaussian blur, which is right here. I always add on the light blur and just drag and drop it here. And yes, this requires animating as well, so I'm just going to put it here. Animate this right here. I'm going to add a keyframe. The start, it's always on 0, and then yep, like that. And then I come to the end, the third marker I should say. Add a keyframe there. Then the last marker, I take all of it off like so. So I can X out of this. And now, as you'll see, it's going to play through and the background's going to blur out. And I always like to have it on good and auto, so it just lets me play in without any lag. And now you go to number 4, so that's what I wanted. This is what you should get. And now, as you can see, it gives us the effects like it comes out, and it's that simple. Number 4, change the frequency, change the game to, and then I just flick through it to make sure everything I want to show you in this specific part is visible. And it is, and then muffle. This means you won't have to remember. As you can see, the blur fades out and this goes back to normal. Just like that. And now I continue to go through my clip, and yeah, let's just keep going. Track EQ, which is as right you can here. See, I'm about to add on the track EQ, but here I won't add the part where it comes out at you. As you can tell, it's only going to be on the screen for that duration, so it's not really useful, and I explain what I'm doing pretty well. And it's simply because we saved the preset in this part, so that is why it's pretty obvious to follow, or pretty easy to follow. Now let's just keep going with the video. So right now I didn't explain how I'm selecting more than one at a time. So at this part I'm going to press M on my keyboard again to lay down a marker. I'm going to go across and find out where I stop talking. So I'm going to drag them down and press M there. And now I'm going to right click, insert a new video track, and here I'm just going to have some text, and it's going to say hold control and left click the other things you want to add on. So the text I'm going to add on is some legacy text, probably the best text to add on right here. And I'm just going to put hold control, oops, and left click other parts. And now Control A, make it a bit smaller. I always stick with Arial because Arial is a very simple font, it looks pretty good as well. And now we just got to play with this. There we go. I'm going to have the outline on to black, no feather. I'll have the width up a bit, no shadow, and then I want the text color to be like a cyan, like that. And then I position this with the track motion. So let's go, usually have it at the bottom like there. There we go. We can X out of this. And then we can add a little fade. And a little fade out. And let's just play through it. Audio track. So it's this one, this one, this one, and this one. So I'm going to drag them down and it'll create a new audio track. There we go, that's what I wanted. And now I'm about to click on something on the left, so I want to be zoomed in on this part as well. So I'm going to split the clip and let's play through. And now from the start, I'm going to go to the event panel and crop and zoom in on this because I'm about to click on it. Now I'm about to click it, so I'm about to select add a keyframe, and then it's track. I'm going to position it so you can see what this is right here. Okay, so that is the end of part 1. Unfortunately, I do have to split it into 2 parts. The reason for that, I got a copyright claim earlier in the year, and now I can no longer upload videos longer than 15 minutes, so it's kind of messed me up. But as you're watching this, part 2 is up right now as well. A link to it will be in the description, and be sure to go ahead and check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, and peace.